Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. We've got some breaking news regarding Thomas Partey. We're going to discuss it here as we have more details around the injury. We know he missed the Manchester United game. By the way, I'm sure you're all still completely and utterly euphoric after the late drama. Saw Arsenal go over the line. They weren't at their best, but they did find the win. There's a Bias Premier League show coming out a little bit later, and Forever Arsenal is out already. And, of course, all the fan cams and reaction that came out across Sunday. But let's not talk about the Man United game. Let's talk about the fact that Thomas Partey unfortunately did miss that game, and we've got more details on his injury. Now, let's first start by saying that we wish him all the best. We wish him a speedy recovery, and this is bad. This is bad news. It's disappointing news. We know that Declan Rice was brilliant, and we know that the absence of a Thomas Partey to this Arsenal team doesn't feel as crucial as it maybe did a year ago. But you put the football stuff aside for a sec, and you wish him all the best. He's got an injury, and that's unfortunate, and we hope he makes a speedy recovery. Sami Mokbel has said that Arsenal hope to have Thomas Partey back after the October international break, and that he's set to miss at least 6 weeks with a groin/thigh injury. Arteta said after the Man United game that he just needed more tests and scans. They weren't 100% sure of the extent of the injury. There had been rumours emerging across Saturday that Thomas Partey might be out for 3 months. It's not looking like that, but it's been trimmed by about 50%. It's 6 weeks is a considerable amount of time. And when they said, after the October international break, I think because we're in September, I thought, well, that doesn't sound like too long, but actually we're at the very beginning of September, and then there's an international break which we're currently in. And then there's, a whole heap of football to be played, and then we might see him 2 weeks after that. So it is quite a significant spell out. We do have players, of course, that can cover in his absence, and from the Arsenal perspective, I feel like we could probably manage it. But from his perspective, I think this would be incredibly disappointing, not only because he's missing a significant amount of football. We're going to go through the fixtures he's going to miss in a second, having also missed the Manchester United game. But I think it's just disappointing that he's picked up another injury. I know as fans we feel very frustrated that we can't rely on him in terms of availability. And what's that saying? Availability is the best ability, and I get all that. But at the same time, you can't. He doesn't mean to get injured, and I think we have to consider that as well. But I understand the frustration from all perspectives, and I understand that Thomas Partey will be feeling as frustrated as we are. But let's go into it in a little bit more detail, because like I said, we'll be missing some key games. That starts with Everton versus Arsenal on the 17th of September, 4:30 kickoff. We'll be missing that trip to Goodison, and we are terrible at Goodison. Our record, I think, is 3 defeats in our last 3 there. So you'd have wanted someone like Thomas Partey who had steel to your midfield, who can sit at the base, maybe allow Declan Rice to get forward. But we're not going to have him for that. We're not going to have him for the Champions League opener, a home tie against PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday, the 20th of September. And then we welcome Tottenham Hotspur, the North London derby, and Tottenham are looking good, let's be honest. Again, you'd want Thomas Partey available for that. You want Arteta to have that tactical flexibility, but we don't have him. Brentford away, Bournemouth away. And then we come into October, and you realise actually how thick and fast these games are coming. Lens away on October the 3rd. That is a Champions League. I think there's another Champions League game in there. No, it's not. So it goes PSV, then Lens away in the Champions League. So it looks like he'll only miss 2 Champions League games. Manchester City at home, though, comes on Sunday the 8th of October before a big international break that sees us then play Chelsea away from home at Stamford Bridge on October the 21st. 5:30 game, that is. So that's probably the earliest we can expect him back, is that Chelsea away game. He was brilliant at Stamford Bridge last year, but once again, and this is where I'm going to start to vent my frustration a little bit here on the Thomas Partey front. Again, he doesn't mean to get injured. It's not his fault. However, in the spectrum of football, you need your best players to be available. And if there's one thing I think we know about certain players in the squad, is that they haven't proven a reliability and availability on a consistent basis. And when you look at the teams you're chasing, look, Man City have got De Bruyne out now, and he's picked up a few injuries every now and again. But Rodri, when is he ever injured? Erling Haaland, since arriving at City, okay, his injury record before that wasn't brilliant, but when is he ever injured? They have injuries elsewhere, but in terms of those key positions in which Thomas Partey is a key player, and as the number 6 and the sitting player, he is a key player, or at least was, certain until we added all this depth like Jorginho and Rice. It just becomes incredibly frustrating that once again, he's going to miss Manchester City at home, he's going to miss Tottenham at home, he's already missed Manchester United at home, and it's touch and go whether he makes it for Chelsea away. Key fixtures, including the return of the Champions League, and the start of the Carabao Cup, though I'm not sure he might have played in that. Yeah, it's just disappointing. It is disappointing. And when I touch on his injury record, I'm going to bring it up here on Transfermarkt. If you want to go have a little look at these for yourselves, go to Transfermarkt. For Atletico Madrid in the 2015-16 season, he had a hamstring injury, kept him out for 6 games. And then it wasn't until 3 years later that he actually picked up another injury, which only saw him miss 1 day, which was another hamstring injury. Since arriving at Arsenal, he's had a muscle injury, a hip injury, and a hamstring injury in his first season. That saw him miss a combined 21 football matches. In the 21-22 season, he missed a hamstring, Let me start again. He missed games by an ankle injury, which saw him miss 4 games, and then he got a knock as well that saw him miss 14 games from April the 4th to July 25th. Of course, that was when we were in the key run-in. We remember that in the race for Champions League. Last season, thigh problems kept him out for 4 games, and then he missed a couple more games via a knock, although I think that was just for Ghana, not for Arsenal. So last season, his injury record did improve, and it's important to say that he was largely very available. But we didn't have him for Old Trafford away. Obviously Man United away at Old Trafford. And we didn't have him for the Man City game at home, which was a crunch tie at the Emirates. And, he was out, I think, the news came through the day before. So it's not like, I guess this feels slightly different because he's picking up the injury. So if he misses this next Man City game, we've kind of foreseen this. There's a lot of these injuries he sort of seems to pick up in the days or in the run into games that are coming up that just leave Arsenal fans really frustrated because it feels like your hopes are dashed before you've even kicked the ball. But like I said, we need to just maintain that he doesn't mean to get injured. It's not his fault. I keep saying it's not his fault. I believe it's not his fault. I believe he's doing all the right things. It's just unfortunate. You never know whether a player is fully looking after themselves, off the pitch, or whether they can maybe play through something that they shouldn't. Or, I'm just speculating. I'm not applying that to Thomas Partey. But largely when it comes to injuries, it's not his fault. It is what it is. But this is why it's important that Arsenal brought in players like Jorginho in January, Declan Rice now, who can slot in, and ultimately you've still got real quality in that number 6 position because he's not proven reliable with his injuries and his availability, Thomas Partey, and that's a shame. But unfortunately, football's a ruthless business, and you've got to consider these things when you're trying to build a team that is meant to keep up with Manchester City and be in a race for a title. Those are my thoughts there on the bit of breaking news. Just a reminder of what exactly we have learnt today is that Thomas Partey is going to be out till maybe after the international break. They hope to have him back after the October international break, not the September one that we're in now, as he's set to miss at least 6 weeks with a groin and thigh injury. We wish him all the best, we genuinely do. We hope he's back soon because Arsenal with Thomas Partey in their squad as an option are better than an Arsenal without him. But like I said, are we all just, this frustration? Are we right to feel frustrated about injuries and availability and things like that? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. As a video, probably not the update you'll have enjoyed, but do subscribe to AFTV for all the latest content looking back at the Man United game and keeping you up to date with everything in terms of Arsenal and news that's breaking throughout the week as well. See you in a bit.